Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Kaylin and I just wanted to make a video talking about the benefits of frugal living. Sorry, my sewing box is kind of in the way. I'm multitasking at the moment because I'm going to get the girls soon from their camp and I have a couple of dresses I need to alter. I'm just doing it by hand, and as you can see, laundry's happening in the background and you can probably hear it too, so just disregard that. But I'm just trying to get some last minute things done before they get home. And I'm expecting cranky behaviour probably because everybody will be tired after a busy weekend and they've been up later than they usually would at home, so yeah, there's that as well. I'm just trying to figure out how to shorten the straps, so sorry if I am looking down, but yeah, I'm just trying to do two things at once. My brain likes to do that anyway. So I was just thinking like a lot recently about frugal living and how it's enriched my life, because like I think that you can think of it as deprivation or you can think of it as like a gift, and it's really about your perception of it. And like obviously, like if you're doing something all the time and it can get monotonous, and there's times where you just think, oh, like I just want to break the budget and not even think about it and just like buy around me. And I think most people like have phases of that sometimes where it's kind of like, you know, the way life is sort of highs and lows, and also like I think there's phases for spending and for saving, and sometimes if you're doing like hardcore saving it can be difficult to sustain it long term, and it's more like to achieve short term like savings goals, or if you have something coming up that you're saving for, it really motivates you to do it. And recently I feel like I have actually really gone back to living frugally and simply. Not that I ever kind of stray from that completely, but just there are times when I am less careful and less intentional about it. And there are like treats that I allow myself. Like I decided during my no-buy that coffee to me is an essential, because going to a coffee shop feels like going to a spa for me. Like for say £3.50 I can get coffee, I can clear my head, I can get lots of writing and reading done, I get out of the house and just get a change of scenery, you can talk to people while you're there, and it's just like when I walk out of the cafe I feel like I've been to a spa or like a nail appointment or something that would be much more expensive than a few pounds. So to me, like, it is an essential. And I've just made a mistake with this. This is why multitasking isn't really a good idea. I think slowing down and staying closer to home, it makes you like really have time to appreciate the little things. I think whenever we like overpack our schedules with things to do, it can kind of make you it takes away time from you, and it gives you less time for reflection. And whenever you're so busy and overscheduled, you lose out on those moments where you can just sit and kind of gather your thoughts and be appreciative for the things that you do have and the small things. And I think the contrast of like living a simple life and then the treats that you do have and the rewards you have for yourself, they mean so much more because of the contrast. If you have treats all the time, you're not going to appreciate them because it just becomes the norm, and anything can become boring if you do it often enough. And I think that, like for example, last night was like a big treat night for me because my partner and I went out to the cinema and then we went out for dinner at the Chinese buffet, and it's not something we do often or ever really. Like we don't often get an opportunity to go out at night alone together, but because it is rare, it makes you appreciate it so much more. And I was really excited about it and thinking about it like coming up to it. Like we planned to do that a couple of weeks ago, and just even thinking ahead to it kind of motivated me and I was excited about it. So I think that whenever you have things like that where you have really planned and budgeted for it, it's much more meaningful than whenever you just do that kind of thing thoughtlessly all the time. So yeah, and it puts you under much less financial strain too, because like I see a lot of families that seem to like eat out a lot and do expensive activities a lot, and maybe like they have the finances for that, and that's fine, and that's not my business. But if you're doing that like every week, it doesn't mean the same, and it's not as memorable. They all kind of blend together after a while. And yeah, it's just something I've been thinking about a lot. And like, because I feel like our options of things to do are a bit more limited, it means I have to be creative, and I have to kind of make the most out of the free resources that we have available, like overusing the library. Speaking of which, I have been saying for years probably that I'm going to the reading group. I think I mentioned this in my last video. It's the second Thursday of the month, and every single month I read the book and then I forget about it. Like last month I fully intended to go, and then I forgot because I was making a roast dinner for everyone, and then by the time I cleaned up after that I was like, oh, it's half over. So this month I had planned definitely to go, and I read the book Butter for it, and I actually wasn't really a fan of it. It felt like a waste of life to me. Like, I know that sounds really harsh, but it was a long book and it could have been so much shorter, and I felt like nothing really happened in it. And it just didn't live up to my expectations of it. Anyway, I still wanted to discuss that, and I'm interested to hear other people's opinions on it too, and see if anyone agreed or if anyone really did love it and why. But then I realised today that I will not be able to go again because my daughter's induction day for her new school is that night, which is fine, but I just think it's funny that every single month I'm like, yeah, I'm totally going to the reading group. I tell the librarians I'm going. I tell my partner I'm going. He even said he was going to remind me about it this time so I don't forget it. And it just occurred to me when I was driving today that I will not be here, so no, I will not be going. But yeah, in some ways, like, I thought there was a time where I thought going to a reading group would motivate me to read more because there was like a deadline. But because I read a lot myself and I'm constantly trying to get through a pile of books from the library, like anyway, I don't feel like I am lacking motivation to read, or like I don't have enough reading material. So I kind of don't feel like I need it. It would be nice for the social aspect of it and just be interesting to hear other people's opinions on books. So I will try and go at some point, but it's not happening this month again. I'm reading a lighter book at the minute called Remarkably Bright Creatures, I think it's called. It's about an octopus. And it's not like something I would normally read, but I'm enjoying it and kind of flying through it. It's a light read. And I am guilty as well of, I've stocked up on so many library books again. I promised myself I would stick to about 3 to 5 instead of getting like the ridiculous number that I get, and I've noticed it's kind of crept up again because each time I've gone I've got like a couple and it's built up. So I need to actually read the books and stop hoarding them for no real reason. So yeah, that's one dress finished. They're the dresses that my partner got me. I love them. This one has moons and stars on it, and this one is sunflowers, but the straps are just a little bit too long, so I'm just shortening them. Sorry if that's annoying while I'm talking, but I kind of just like to chat while I'm doing things and chat while I'm having coffee, and it feels like you're kind of just hanging out with a friend. So yeah, Frugal Living, like we use the library to death, and I love the place even just socially because the librarians are like really good friends of ours now, and they always have a good laugh with the kids. And I signed the girls up for a summer scheme that is run by the city council, and I don't know if it's paid. If it is, it might not be very expensive, but I'm waiting to see if they got a place in it or not, because I'm pretty sure it'll fill up quickly, but it would be very handy to our house. It's only around the corner, and my daughter was keen to go, so yeah. So I've got to leave in half an hour to pick them up from their camp. I feel like recently I have really gotten into my garden. Like, I was kind of overwhelmed by it for a long time because it's quite big, and because we have a front and back garden, and in our last house we just had a yard that was all like concrete, so there was no grass to maintain. and our grass grows like crazily quickly because my dad fed it, and I don't know what he fed it, but yeah, it makes it shoot up overnight. I don't love cutting the grass, but I like the feeling after I've done it where you look at the garden and it's all like tidy and it feels rewarding. And I think that whenever you're living a frugal lifestyle, you do tend to do things that take more time and more effort over just kind of throwing money around you and paying for shortcuts. But whenever you finish the things yourself, it feels so much better. Like, I used to go to this car wash that people like did a full valet, and it was like, it used to be £12 to get my car done, which is actually really good for the amount of work and how clean they got it. They put the price up. I think it's closer to 20 now, which is probably just fair enough for the amount of work involved. So I stopped going there like a couple of years ago and just started washing my own car, and it's been so much cheaper. But before I do it, it's always a little bit, it's kind of like I dread it a bit because it just feels like such an undertaking. But then whenever I've finished, I feel so good because I know I've saved us so much money. And if you multiply that, like say I went once a month and it's 20 quid each time, like that's more than 200 quid a year that I've saved just by cleaning my own car. And yeah, like there's just something nice about getting into your car when it's all clean and it smells nice, and knowing that you did the work yourself, it's rewarding. And the same with the garden. I'm starting to feel like I'm getting on top of it, and I'm starting to get better at looking after plants and keeping them alive. And my parents gave me an early birthday present today. It's like a big flower pot that I had seen when I was at a garden centre with my mum that I loved, but I didn't buy it at the time. And I was thinking about it after because it just was so like me, like it had yellow polka dots on it and it's just really pretty. And I wanted to move my sweet pea that my dad gave me into a bigger pot just to let it to kind of grow a bit better. So that was a nice surprise. They got me that because my birthday is next month, but my mum wanted me to have it now because she said that like I'm not likely to be planting things as much next month. So that was a really nice surprise, and I just like adding things to the garden and seeing it coming together, and I'm getting better at things like weeding and figuring out what are weeds and what aren't. And just like I like looking after the birds and seeing bees and butterflies in our garden, and whenever you see the kind of natural benefits of it, like it really pays off the time that you invest in it. And I've started to kind of move plants around too and figure out where would they be better positioned, or if something's kind of taking over and growing things, I'm kind of getting more ruthless about pulling it out, because I would have been scared to before, I think, because I wasn't sure if it was something that should maybe stay. But now I'm just like we have lavender that was being choked by another plant, so I just got rid of that. And yeah, like I just went over to my parents' house today. I took Potato for a walk at Billy Neal, and he had a run about in their garden, and we just had lunch. I was only there for a little while because I had to come back and get organised for the girls coming home. I've actually ended up with more time than I thought I had. So yeah, I decided to make a video. But and I find that a lot of the jobs that I kind of dread doing, like when I've done them, I'm really happy afterwards, and it makes you feel good for the rest of the day. And I would struggle sometimes with like knowing where to start and getting sidetracked easily. And yeah, like I probably have ADHD, but I just jump from one thing to the next sometimes and don't really seem to make much progress. But like yesterday I got the craft trolley cleared up, and that felt rewarding because now it's not spilling out everywhere and you can actually see what's in it. It's not perfect, it's still overfilled. I need to kind of like cut back a bit on the craft supplies, I think, and root out the things that the girls aren't actually using. And I want to get some stuff together to take it to charity. But yeah, I think the more I move away from spending money and coming up with ideas of things to buy and excuses for buying things, the more I direct that energy into my home and my garden and my kids and yeah, like family and all of the things that actually like mean more. And yeah, then the times whenever I do go out and spend a bit more, it feels like a reward for all of the hard work, and that always feels better than getting a treat for no reason. Yeah, so I just thought I would share some of those thoughts, because I have been thinking today about how grateful I am for my life and how lucky I am in so many ways, and how if we were really well off, we would actually kind of be deprived of a lot of the things that we have now. And I think sometimes you lose your time in exchange for getting more money, and then you kind of have to pay other people to do things for you instead of having the time to just do them yourself. And I think that the times that I process the most and work through my own emotional stuff, it's while I'm doing tasks with my hands and things that require low brain power but just physical energy, or just rearranging things even, and the process of cleaning and gardening and everything like that, it just stills your mind, I think. So yeah, I never feel there might be times where I think, okay, it would be nice to have a little bit more money just to have more freedom, but I don't feel deprived because we're on a budget, and I feel like it has allowed me to be creative and learn so many skills like sewing, and now I'm getting really into gardening and cooking and baking bread and making things from scratch, and all of that stuff is just so rewarding. So yeah, I'm going to get ready to go and get the girls. I've fixed both my dresses while I'm talking to you, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your weekend, and I will make another video soon. Don't forget to subscribe for more content. Bye.